Hello and welcome to CinemaBurger's 13 Nights of Halloween. I'm Scott Berger and I bring you movie reviews from a different perspective. We start off with the movie Vivarium, starring Jesse Eisenberg and Imogen Poots. It came out earlier this year and it's currently streaming on Amazon Prime. Jesse Eisenberg and Imogen Poots star as a young couple looking to buy a house. Now, when they go to a real estate agent, they walk into the office and there's little models of houses and they all look the same. The real estate agent is a man named Martin. He wears a white shirt and black pants and his hair is combed to the side very neatly. He also smiles very creepily and is very perfect looking, to say. Like he's very clean cut and he is all neat and proper. When the couple asks the real estate agent where this housing development is, he says, oh, it's not too far and just close enough. It's very ambiguous in the way he describes this housing development. So they follow him in their car to this place, and all the houses look exactly the same, and there's no rain clouds or anything. Any clouds in the sky are perfectly shaped. There's sunny and every lawn is green and it looks very... It's like the 1950s American dream of living in the suburbs, but warped to a sick sense of reality. The real estate agent asks if they ever thought about having kids, and they say they're thinking about it. And when they are shown the house, there's already a nursery in it, which is a little weird. And when they're looking in the house, the real estate agent disappears, so it's just the couple is alone. Now, they try to leave and they can't find their way out. They drive around in circles, what seems like for hours, and that they just can't leave. They keep showing up to the house that they were shown, which has the number 9 on it. Now, Jesse Eisenberg's character is a little different. He's a little more assertive and not as timid or nervous as most of his other characters. He speaks his thoughts, but he's not rude or anything. He smokes, but that isn't really, I guess, a personality trait. And Imogen Poots is a school teacher. She's very kind. So they realize that they can't leave, and there's also no cell reception. So it's been days and weeks, and all of a sudden there's a baby delivered to their house, which is also weird. And the next day it's already about the size of a 6-year-old. Now it's interesting because the kid has the same hair as a real estate agent, and he wears the same white shirt with a tie and black pants. Now when the kid talks, it's not normal. He has a kid's voice kind of, but also he sounds like a parrot sometimes when he imitates Jesse and Imogen. Like when they hear dogs or something and the kid goes woof like a dog, it's not like the kid's voice. So immediately I thought, wait, is this kid the real estate agent, or it's drawing similarities to the real estate agent? So like I said, this is like a warped sense of the 1950s American dream in the suburbs. A family with a child. Jesse Eisenberg smokes, so he throws the cigarette butt on the grass and like some of the grass disappears, so he starts digging a hole in the lawn and he thinks he can find a way out of this town or this area. Now, the kid screams when he doesn't get breakfast. Now, when he's given breakfast, he's fine, or when he watches TV. Now, the breakfast is like cornflakes for the kid and like bacon, eggs, another staple of the 1950s like lifestyle, I would say, or the suburbs. So the kid watches TV, but it's just weird images flashing over and over. Now the kid keeps referring to Imogen as her, which she isn't. But she, at the same time, she feels a sense of nurturing toward the kid. Now, they're starting to accept that maybe they're in a different dimension or something, because Jesse Eisenberg definitely calls the kid an it and not a he. He acknowledges that it's maybe not human. Now, Imogen spends more time with the kid. She even like teaches him things, like looks at the sky, like the clouds. But she says all the clouds look like clouds. They don't look like other things, like in the normal world. Oh, it's interesting that the movie is called Vivarium. If you look up the definition of Vivarium, the definition states that Vivarium is an enclosed area used for monitoring or researching animals or an ecosystem. Now that's very interesting because this is basically what this town or neighborhood is, because another thing is food gets dropped off to their house in a box. They never see anyone deliver it, and they put their garbage out in the same box and they never see anyone take it away. Just they look away and they look again and it disappears. Now throughout the second half of the movie, Jesse Eisenberg is just convinced on digging a hole deeper and trying to find a way out, while Imogen is kind of developing more of a bond with the kid. Now one day the kid walks into the house and he has a book. Now they look in the book and it shows the kid and other like drawings of humanoid looking creatures, and they're looking up in the sky. So it's kind of like the kid was sent there to watch the humans or maybe learn from them. It's not really explained, but it's easily alluded to. This is also a really good movie about, I guess, isolation, because they're both alone and they're convinced they're being watched or something. And at one point, Jesse Eisenberg digs deep enough and he finds what looks like the skeleton of a baby. I rewound it many times and it was hard to tell, but he gets very horrified by this thing that he finds. Now also, he's getting sick throughout the movie. Now, at one point, the kid is now a teenager. He looks like he's 18, 19, or maybe early 20s, and he says to the mother, or Imogen, that something along the lines of like, you shouldn't resist, or like, just be my mother. And he explains that the idea of parents is to raise the children and then just die, which is interesting. It's another, I guess, warped sense of interpretation of the 1950s lifestyle. I guess for like mothers in particular, I guess, to raise the children, and that's all they're supposed to do. So Jesse Eisenberg at one point is so sick that he dies, and the now adult child has a body bag and puts him in it, and it decompresses, and then he just takes it away. And now Imogen does something to the TV or to the book that is interesting. He asks about who sent the kid, and he doesn't really answer, so she uses the idea that he's a kid to her advantage. This is back when he's still a little kid. She says, let's play pretend, and she says, let's do impersonations, and then she says, pretend to be the people that sent you, and then the kid's like throat gets bigger, kind of looks like a frog, and it's it's very alien-like. And then Imogen freaks out. Now later on, the Imogen says something to the now adult kid or hurts him, and he literally like raises up the concrete like it's a carpet and goes underneath, and Imogen follows him, and underneath we see a weird world. It looks like other houses where people have been like sucked into this world. and she's seeing that this has happened before and it happens to other people. But unfortunately, she ends up dying also. And she gets put in a body bag and then just dumped away. Now the adult child drives their car back to town and then basically you see the other real estate agent, Martin. He looks like he's dying or something. So the adult child puts him in a body bag, puts him in a drawer, takes the name tag and puts it on him. And now I guess he becomes a real estate agent. Now that's very interesting because it's like a cycle for these creatures. Like they feed off of, I guess, watching the humans in this ecosystem, I guess, or this town, learn what they can, and then lure another couple in, and that's how the movie ends. Another couple comes into the real estate office, and that's the movie. Now I think this is a great metaphor for not like I said, the 1950s American dream and the suburbs. I like how clever the title was. If you don't know what that word means, look it up like I did, because it describes the whole movie. That this couple is being watched by some otherworldly creatures. It's dark and genuine at the same time, I guess. Because this creature, when he's a kid, is still very childlike at times. Like he's learning how to be a human. Because even at the beginning, when the couple talks to the real estate agent that brings them there, he's kind of robotic. It's like an android, kind of. So it's like he's basically learned human interactions, but not fully. It's like when you get a telemarketer call and it's like a human, and it's like, oh, hi, I didn't hear you there. It's like simulating a human, but you know it isn't. So I guess this movie is a lesson about the humdrum life of the American dream, but it's a great metaphor, turning something that seemed to be wholesome on its head. So I would give Vivarium a 4.5 out of 5 burgers, honestly. It was enjoyable, it never felt slow, it was just very eerie, I would say. It's definitely a thriller, and it's definitely worth a look at. It's on Amazon Prime right now. Alright, so I've been Scott Burger, and this is the CinemaBurger's 13 Nights of Halloween. I'll see you next time. Ooh, ha ha ha.